continue with the rhythm dance here.
Lorans Fornье-Бодри, Николай Соренсен組 Canada.
On the ice, representing Canada, Lorans Fornье-Bodri and Nikolaj Sorensen.
Representing Canada, Laurence Fornье-Bodri and Nikolaj Sorensen. She is 26, he is 29. They're the 2019 Canadian bronze medalists, who in the past representing Denmark on the ice.
Just a moment ago, Laurence and Nikolaj opening up with their pattern dance element. And one of the real challenges, I mentioned it's tiring, is just fitting this into the arena successfully. There's a required pattern to follow, and you need that flow to really make this dance shine. But to have that fit into these tight end zones, so to speak, across the width of the ice is really difficult. And if you misjudge a corner, if you get too tight or too far away, it can certainly impact both the success of that edge element or that turn, but also the way it looks. And you really want to be expansive and make that pattern as big as possible.
These two teamed up back in 2012, and as I mentioned, represented Denmark, but Danish citizenship rules very strict. Laurence not able to get that, especially after earning a spot for Denmark at the World Championships 2017. So they made the switch, had to sit out an international competition an entire year, skipped the 2018 World Championships. And this, their first international competition representing Canada.
And if you're like me, you're holding your breath right now because the stirrup on his pant has come undone, and it is dangling precariously close to his blade.
You wonder if he's aware of that.
The strength of this couple is really in how they relate to one another and their power. And there's a lot of detail that goes into those intimate moments, and they really capture it so well. I mean, the closer they are together, the more I buy into this program. And those moments were really special.
How distracting is that if you are aware of the costume malfunction halfway through that program?
In that case, very distracting, because at every moment you're wondering, is this when I step on it? Of course, in training, you try to prepare yourself. If that happens in practice, at least when I was training, you would always think, push through it, see what happens, see if you can get used to a distraction like that. But it's one thing if there's just a piece of fabric flying off of your sleeve. There's another if it's risking tripping you up.
And remember Papadakis and Cicerone at the Pyeongchang Olympics in that short dance.
And if you can push through that, he can push through a stirrup.
That's true.
And they're lucky that that didn't cause any problems, because this really was a great program. It's very well choreographed. A lot of those technical elements, again, like we saw with the last couple, earning very high scores. So already these teams at the World Championships pushing the envelope, showing that they've taken all the feedback they've received during the season and fed that into cleaner technical performances, and that's what you need in the rhythm dance, not a step wrong. I think overall, the range of movement for this team is somewhere where they can improve. The flexibility, the lean of their bodies, just the reach of their extensions. I think that when you're too upright, a little bit stiff in the upper body, as they sometimes find themselves to be, it just creates less interesting pictures overall. So the content, I think, is there. It's just selling it with that much more dimension. And certainly, as I mentioned, the emotions already on point. And so is her manicure. Wow.
There you go.
Details.
A big part of the other, though, confidence, too, because you have to leave yourself alone when you're out there.
Absolutely, yes. And, you know, the feeling of being at a World Championships at the end of the season, you'd really like to feel like all the work is done. You have done everything that you can up to this point to prepare yourself for this moment. There's no more growing or learning for this season.
Yeah.
And you just want to feel like, I'm done, I've left that at home. Now is the time to just make this final statement and hope that it sets you off on the right foot for the following season.
Part of the powerhouse from Montreal, and they were one of the first teams to work with Patrice Lauzon, Marie-France Debré. But we will be seeing a lot of them in the kiss and cry. All right, nice. He is quoting him now, 74-76. For the technical and the presentation, so they set the standard so far. Here, the rhythm dance.
76. This is their season best score, and currently